The market is a mirror. It reflects not your strategy, but your emotions. Because in trading, the greatest battle is not between bulls and bears. It's between you and your own mind. Every chart, every candle, every decision you make is a reflection of what's happening inside you. Fear, greed, doubt, hope, they all live within every trader. And until you master yourself, you'll never master the market. As Jesse Livermore once said, the game of speculation is the most uniformly fascinating game in the world, but it is not a game for the stupid, the mentally lazy, or the man of poor emotional balance. This is not just trading. This is trading psychology. Welcome to Mind for Trade. Trading looks simple, doesn't it? You buy, you sell, you profit. But anyone who's ever opened a real trade knows it's nothing like that. The charts don't defeat you, your emotions do. You can have the best strategy, the cleanest setup, the perfect entry. But if your mind isn't steady, one candle, one sudden drop can erase months of effort. Because the moment real money is on the line, logic begins to fade. Think about it. How many times have you closed a trade too early because you feared it would reverse? How many times have you held on to a losing trade, hoping, praying, begging that it would turn around? That's not your system. That's your psychology. You see, trading is not about charts. It's about your relationship with uncertainty. It's about how you behave when nothing is certain, when your plan is tested, when your ego is challenged. That's the battlefield no one sees, the one inside your mind. Every trader enters the market with a plan, but few can follow it. Because a plan works only when emotions stay silent, and that rarely happens. When you're in profit, greed whispers, "Hold a little longer." When you're in loss, fear screams, "Exit before it's too late." These voices can drown your logic completely. That's why the greatest traders weren't just good with numbers, they were masters of emotions. Paul Tudor Jones, one of the most legendary traders ever, once said, "The most important rule of trading is to play great defense, not great offense." He wasn't just talking about risk management. He was talking about protecting your mental capital. Because if your mind is broken, your strategy means nothing. If your emotions take control, your system can't save you. Trading psychology is your shield, your invisible armor. Without it, the market doesn't even have to beat you. You beat yourself. Let me tell you something true. You don't trade the market, you trade your beliefs. If your belief is that you must win every trade, the market will humble you. If your belief is that you can control the outcome, the market will break you. But if your belief is to trust your process and accept uncertainty, the market will respect you. Because trading isn't about perfection, it's about control, control over yourself. Every successful trader has gone through the emotional storms, fear, greed, frustration, doubt. They didn't eliminate them, they learned to observe them. That's what separates the ordinary from the elite. George Soros, one of the greatest investors in history, once said, "It's not whether you're right or wrong that's important, but how much money you make when you're right and how much you lose when you're wrong." That mindset is psychology. He knew he would be wrong, but he didn't let it destroy his confidence. He accepted that being wrong is part of being human. And that's the truth most traders never accept. Losses are not a reflection of your worth. They are feedback. They are lessons. But the ego doesn't want to hear that. The ego wants to win every time. And the moment ego takes control, you stop trading the market and start fighting yourself. That's why you see traders revenge trading after a loss, over-trading after a win, jumping from one strategy to another, not because the system failed, but because their mind did. You see, psychology is not just part of trading, it is trading. A trader's success is not measured by how often they win, but by how well they manage themselves when they lose. It's easy to be calm when things go your way. But can you stay calm when everything falls apart? Can you hold your composure when your setup fails, when your account dips, when your confidence shakes? That's the test, and that's why trading psychology is the true foundation of success. The charts will test your patience, the market will test your discipline, and your emotions will test your strength. You will feel fear. You will feel greed. You will feel doubt. And that's okay. Because mastery is not about never feeling emotions. It's about not letting them control you. Warren Buffett once said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." That's not about timing. That's about temperament. It's about staying emotionally detached when everyone else is losing control. And that is the hardest thing in trading. You can't control the markets. You can't control the economy. But you can always control yourself. When you truly understand that, you stop reacting and start responding. You stop trading emotionally and start trading logically. You stop chasing money and start focusing on consistency. Because the moment you master your emotions, the market becomes your mirror, not your enemy. That's when trading stops being chaos and becomes art. That's when you stop being a gambler and become a professional. Trading psychology is not just a topic, it is the very heartbeat of trading. It's a difference between blowing accounts and building wealth. It's the bridge between frustration and freedom. When you master psychology, you unlock clarity. You start to see that every loss, every setback, every emotional breakdown is a stepping stone toward emotional strength. Because the market rewards the disciplined and punishes the impulsive. And discipline is born in the mind.
Every trader begins with hope, with excitement, with that burning belief that they can conquer the markets. But soon, reality steps in. The charts don't move the way you expect. The profits you saw on paper vanish in seconds. And then, something inside you changes. You start to feel it, the quiet whisper of fear. It starts small, but grows louder with every loss. It begins to shape your every move, your every decision. And suddenly, you're not trading your system anymore. You're trading your emotions. Fear makes you doubt your plan. Fear makes you exit too early. Fear makes you question if you belong in this world at all. And right behind fear comes its twin, greed. The one that tells you, stay a little longer. The price will go higher. One more candle, one more trade, one more try. And you obey, not because your analysis says so, but because your emotions crave more. These two forces, fear and greed, have destroyed more trading accounts than bad strategies ever will. Because fear blinds you to opportunity, and greed blinds you to danger. They are the invisible enemies that live within you, and the market knows exactly how to provoke them. Think about this. When the market falls, fear spreads like wildfire. You see red candles and your brain screams, run! But the professional, the one who's trained his mind, sees opportunity where others see disaster. And when the market rises, When profits are easy, greed whispers it'll keep going. But that's when the disciplined trader steps back, takes profits, and waits. Because they understand, the moment you let emotions lead, you lose control. Let's look at some of the greatest traders to ever live. George Soros, the man who broke the Bank of England. Paul Tudor Jones, the trader who predicted the 1987 crash. They all shared one thing in common: emotional awareness. They knew that trading was a mental game. They knew that success came not from predicting the market, but from controlling themselves. Paul Tudor Jones once said, "Where you end up in life is not determined by where you start. It's determined by how well you manage your emotions." That's true in trading and in life. Because when your mind is calm, you see the truth. But when your mind is clouded by emotion, even truth looks like a threat. The same chart can look bullish to one trader and bearish to another. The chart didn't change, their mindset did. Trading psychology isn't about removing fear and greed completely. That's impossible. It's about understanding them. It's about knowing when fear is trying to protect you and when it's trying to control you. It's about recognizing when greed is ambition and when it's self-sabotage. When you understand your emotions, they become your allies. When you ignore them, they become your enemies. This is what separates professionals from amateurs. Amateurs react. Professionals respond. Amateurs see loss as failure. Professionals see loss as feedback. Amateurs seek excitement. Professionals seek consistency. Because true trading mastery isn't found in your charts, it's found in your discipline. You can learn all the indicators in the world. You can master technical patterns. But if you can't manage yourself, none of it matters. The market doesn't reward intelligence, it rewards control. You can be a genius and still lose everything if you panic. But you can be ordinary and still succeed if you stay calm. That's the beauty of this game. It's not about who's smarter, it's about who's stronger inside. Let's talk about overconfidence, the silent trap that follows a few wins. You take 2 or 3 perfect trades, everything works, and suddenly you feel invincible. You start to think, I figured it out. You increase your risk, you ignore your rules, and that's when the market strikes. Overconfidence blinds you. It makes you forget that every trade is uncertain. It tricks you into believing that success means you can't fail, and that's the moment you do. The best traders, they never feel invincible. They feel disciplined. They feel cautious. They feel humble. Because they know confidence without awareness is just arrogance in disguise. Mark Douglas, author of Trading in the Zone, once said, "The consistency you seek is in your mind, not in the market." He was right, because the market doesn't change, you do. When you win, your mind changes. When you lose, your mind changes. Your reactions create your results. That's why your biggest task as a trader is not to control the market, but to control your response to it. You must develop what I call emotional discipline. It's not about suppressing the emotions. It's about mastering the way you act through them. When fear rises, breathe. When greed whispers, pause. When doubt clouds your mind, step back. Because in trading, patience is profit, and silence is strength. You see, most traders lose not because they lack strategy, but because they lack discipline. They can't follow their plan when emotions rise. They forget their rules when pressure hits. But the trader who can stay calm no matter what the market does, that trader wins over time. Even if they lose today, they'll win tomorrow, because their foundation is not built on emotion, it's built on control. And that's why you need trading psychology. It's not a motivational topic, it's survival. is what keeps you alive in this battlefield of uncertainty. The charts won't save you, indicators won't save you. Your emotions will either make you or break you. Jesse Livermore, one of the most legendary traders ever, made and lost several fortunes. And every time he came back, he said the same thing. The human side of every person is the greatest enemy of the average investor or speculator. He wasn't talking about others. He was talking about himself. He understood that his greatest battle was never the market. It was his own mind. And that's the truth we all face. When you open a trade, you're not battling the chart. You're battling fear. You're battling greed. You're battling impatience. You're battling yourself. And every time you overcome one of those emotions, you level up as a trader. Every time you control your reaction, you build strength. Every time you stay disciplined, you move closer to freedom. Because trading success isn't measured in money, it's measured in mastery. The more you master your emotions, the more consistent your results become. And that's the hidden truth about trading psychology. It's not just about surviving the market. It's about becoming the kind of person who thrives in it. A trader with the right mindset can turn failure into experience, loss into wisdom, and patience into profit. That's the journey every great trader takes. That's the path to mastering your mind.
There's a saying in trading: discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. And that, my friend, is where most traders fail. They can find strategies online. They can learn indicators in a week. But the moment emotions come into play, everything they learned disappears. You tell yourself you'll cut your losses at 2%, but the candle goes red, your heart starts racing, and suddenly you whisper, maybe it'll come back. That one decision, that one emotional impulse destroys your plan. Because discipline isn't tested when things go right. It's tested when everything goes wrong. When your plan is working, anyone can follow it. But when your plan fails, when you're down, that's when discipline decides who wins and who quits. Every successful trader you admire, they've all been through pain. They've all blown accounts. They've all stared at their screens, wondering if they should give up. But what made them great was not their knowledge, it was their resilience. Let's talk about resilience. Because the market doesn't reward perfection, it rewards persistence. Take Richard Dennis, known as the Prince of the Pit. He turned a few $100s into over $100 million. But even he lost millions later in his career. And yet, he didn't walk away bitter. He said, "I always knew I could lose, but I also knew I could learn." That's resilience, the ability to stand back up when your dream knocks you down. In trading, you will fall. You will lose trades, sometimes whole weeks, maybe months. You will doubt yourself. But if you quit, your loss becomes permanent. If you stay, your loss becomes education. Every losing trade has a message, if you're willing to listen. Sometimes it's telling you, be more patient. Sometimes it's whispering, follow your plan. And sometimes it's screaming, control your emotions. Because the market is not your enemy, it's your mirror. It reflects exactly who you are in that moment. If you're greedy, it exposes it. If you're fearful, it amplifies it. If you're patient, it rewards it. That's why trading is the ultimate test of character. You can't fake discipline here. You can't lie to yourself for long. The results will tell the truth. And when you lose, you'll face a voice inside you that says you're not good enough. But you must learn to answer back, calmly, confidently. I'm still learning, and I will come back stronger. Because every loss can break you or build you. You decide which one it becomes. Let me tell you about another great trader, Ray Dalio, founder of Bridgewater Associates, one of the largest hedge funds in the world. In the early days, he made a prediction about the economy, and he was wrong. He lost everything. He had to borrow money from his dad just to survive. But he didn't stop. He studied his mistakes. He learned humility. He learned to question himself and his emotions. And that failure became the foundation for his billions later. Ray Dalio said, "Pain plus reflection equals progress." That's trading psychology in one sentence. You will face pain, but what matters is whether you reflect or react. Most people react. They revenge trade. They double down. They let ego take the driver's seat. But winners, they reflect. They pause. They analyze. They grow. Because trading psychology isn't about suppressing pain. It's about learning from it. Your losses are not there to hurt you. They're there to teach you emotional strength. The kind of strength that no book can give you. The kind of strength that's earned through experience, through nights of doubt, through mornings of hope. And that's the reality of trading. It's not a straight path. It's filled with ups and downs, joy and frustration, confidence and fear. But through it all, your mindset decides everything. You can lose 10 trades in a row and still win in the long run if your mind stays steady. Or you can win 10 trades in a row and lose everything if your emotions spiral. That's why the real battle is not on the chart. It's in your head. Every day you open your platform, you bring your emotions with you. If you're tired, your discipline fades. If you're angry, your patience dies. If you're desperate, your logic disappears. That's why professional traders focus not only on charts, but on their state of mind. They meditate, they exercise, they journal, they rest, because they know their mind is their greatest tool. Trading psychology isn't just about knowing what emotions you feel. It's about building habits that keep those emotions in check. A trading journal is one of the most powerful weapons you can have, not just for tracking numbers, but for understanding patterns in your behavior. When you write down your thoughts after each trade, you'll start to see the truth. You'll notice when you trade out of fear. You'll see when greed took over. You'll discover what your real weaknesses are. Because self-awareness is the foundation of improvement. You can't fix what you don't understand. You can't master what you don't measure. That's why awareness is the first step to control. The second step is acceptance. Accept that you will make mistakes. Accept that emotions will rise. Accept that you are human, and that's okay. The goal isn't to become emotionless. It's to act with discipline even when emotions are strong. That's true power. That's emotional mastery. You can't control the outcome of every trade, but you can control how you respond.
And that's where freedom begins. When you reach that point, when you no longer panic, when losses no longer define you, you start trading with clarity. You start trading with peace. You start trading from a place of power. Look at the Japanese traders in the 1980s. They had a practice called mushin, the state of no mind. It meant trading with complete focus, no fear, no greed, no attachment. Just awareness, just discipline. And that's what you should aim for. Not excitement, not constant wins, but emotional balance. Because when you find balance, profits follow naturally. When your mind is calm, your analysis is clear. When your emotions are in control, your trades reflect confidence. And when you master yourself, the market stops being chaos. It becomes opportunity. Every loss teaches you patience. Every win teaches you gratitude. Every mistake teaches you awareness. That's the essence of trading psychology. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. It's not about control over the market. It's about control over yourself. Because the day you master your mind is the day you master your trade. And that's the day everything changes.
Now, take a deep breath. You've come a long way on this journey, from excitement and fear to discipline and control. You've seen how trading psychology isn't just a concept, it's the foundation of every successful trader's story. But let's go deeper, because this is more than a conversation about charts and candles. This is about you. Trading will test you in ways few things ever can. It will expose your weaknesses. It will challenge your patience. It will humble your ego. But if you let it, it will also transform you. It will teach you focus, discipline, self-awareness, resilience. It will teach you that your reaction to pressure defines your future. It will show you that emotions are not the enemy, they're your teachers. And when you learn to listen, when you learn to control, that's when you evolve, not just as a trader, but as a human being. Because in truth, trading psychology is life psychology. The same emotions that make you panic in the market make you quit in life. The same greed that pushes you to overtrade makes you chase what's not yours. And the same patience that saves your account builds your dreams. The market is a reflection of life itself. It rewards those who stay calm when others panic, who plan when others guess, who learn when others quit. And that's why this topic, trading psychology, is not optional. It's the foundation on which every profitable trader stands. Look at Warren Buffett. He doesn't trade on emotion, he trades on conviction. When markets crash, he stays patient. When people panic, he smiles quietly and waits. Because he understands the market rewards those who think long-term, not those who react short-term. And that mindset, that calm, composed discipline, that's psychology. You see, it's never the market that destroys a trader. It's their inability to manage themselves. Fear, greed, overconfidence, impatience, those are the real market makers. But here's the beautiful truth. You can learn to master them. You can train your mind the same way you train your strategy. Every day you show up with awareness. Every day you pause before reacting. You're rewiring your brain for success. And over time, that control becomes natural. Your emotions no longer control your hands. Your thoughts no longer rush your trades. You start to see clearly. The noise fades, the pressure lessens, and you start to realize it was never about the market. It was always about mastering yourself. Think about the legends: George Soros, Jesse Livermore, Paul Tudor Jones, Ray Dalio. They didn't win every trade. They didn't predict every move, but they understood themselves better than most people ever will. They knew when to stop, when to hold, when to act, and when to do nothing. They became masters of emotion. And that's what you must aim for: not perfection, but control. Not endless wins, but emotional balance. Not excitement, but consistency. Because when you become consistent in your emotions, your results follow. Your trading plan becomes smoother, your profits start compounding, and your confidence stops depending on outcomes. You start trading for freedom, not for thrill, for mastery, not for money. And that's when your life changes, because trading stops being a fight and becomes a flow. You'll have losing days. We all do, but they won't break you anymore. You'll have winning streaks, but they won't blind you anymore. Because you'll know that true success isn't about one trade. It's about who you become through every trade. The mindset you build here, the control you practice here, will spill into every part of your life. You'll be calmer with people, more patient in problems, wiser in decisions. Because when you master your emotions, you master everything. And that's the real reward of trading psychology. It's not about predicting price, it's about protecting peace. It's not about chasing profits, it's about building patience. It's not about proving you're right, it's about staying balanced when you're wrong. And that's where greatness begins. Because once you master your emotions, the market cannot break you anymore. You may lose money, but you'll never lose control. You may face drawdowns, but you'll never lose discipline. You may stumble, but you'll always rise again. That's the mindset of a professional. That's the psychology of a winner. That's the essence of trading mastery. And remember this: every chart you open, every trade you take, every decision you make is one step toward mastery. Even the bad trades teach you something if you have the courage to listen. So from this day forward, trade with awareness, trade with patience, trade with peace. Don't rush the process, trust the process. Don't chase the profit, build the mindset. Don't fight the market, flow with it. Because the moment you stop fighting, you start learning. And when you start learning, you start winning. You are not defined by your losses. You are defined by your persistence. You are not measured by how many trades you win, but by how many emotions you master. That's trading psychology. That's the invisible line between amateurs and professionals, between failure and fortune. So if you truly want to build a trading life that lasts, work on your mindset more than your method. Study your emotions as much as your charts. And remember, the greatest trade you'll ever make is between your fear and your faith. If you can master that, the markets will respect you. Because when your mind is clear, your path is unstoppable. And that, my friend, is the power of trading psychology. If you found value in this message, make sure you subscribe to this channel, Mind for Trade. where we'll go deeper into the psychology, habits, and mindset of successful traders. And don't forget to join our second channel, Mind for Wealth, for more motivational and financial growth stories that will keep your spirit strong and your vision clear. Together, we'll not only trade smarter, we'll think stronger, we'll live wiser, and we'll grow richer from the inside out.